Hey guys, what's going on? Going for another walk in nature today. I'm not in the same park that I was in a few days ago, but this one's very close to it. If you guys are finding yourselves, if you ever find yourself in a really troublesome situation, a really tough place, you really want to learn. Now, this might sound bad, but you actually want to learn to let it consume you and take you over because and I remember Disturbed, the band Disturbed, put out an interview, and David Draymond was talking about it, how an asylum is actually, and that was one of their albums that they made, and asylum has multiple different definitions. It can be this vastly gritty, sort of torturous, treacherous environment like hospital, ward, or asylum can also mean safe haven. It's actually, and David Draymond, the lead singer of Disturbed, he was actually talking about that in an interview, about how asylum, although it can feel constraining and feel very difficult and very challenging, like a shell that has become too small for a crab, or certain animals who use those shells and they grow out of their shell and it gets uncomfortable, but the growth is taking place in the discomfort. Like through the discomfort, the growth is then sort of, I was trying to find a word. It's kind of like projecting out, like it's forcing you out of that shell. It's forcing you out of that comfort zone in order to grow. Like the shell becomes smaller and it becomes more uncomfortable, but then once we get out, and as soon as we get out and we find a new shell, that's where we reach the new levels of comfort, and there's more than enough room within that comfort zone now. So you often hear it put too, also, that trouble is transportation. And that might very well be true as well. So just remember, if you're going through a really trialing time, the fires of affliction, remember that the strongest growth happens in the discomfort, through the discomfort. That's where we grow the most. And we're going to come out a lot stronger, a lot better, because that's the transformative process. That's the transforming. You are being transformed into a completely different person, into a new mentality, and everything's being wired, and you are becoming stronger. These trials were never meant to defeat us. A diamond is created by putting pressure on it. So whatever you're asking for in here, it might hurt right now because you're outgrowing that current shell, so to speak. But we truly grow the most in times of discomfort, whenever we are most uncomfortable. So keep these things in mind. And like I said about the asylum, this place that feels treacherous and we don't like how it feels and it feels torturous, give yourself over to the asylum. Give yourself over to it. And similar to nature, similar to a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, if they fight through that cocoon, think about that. If they fight through that discomfort and fight through that asylum, so to speak, they're never going to flourish and develop into butterfly. You surrender yourself to the asylum, and you will come out, because that process is birthing that butterfly. That process is birthing something that's going to astound people. You're becoming more than you previously were through that transformative process. But oftentimes, that transformative process is painful. So remember what I've said and surrender. Give yourself over to that discomfort, to that asylum. Now, you don't want to rest or settle in it, but you operate on the understanding that you're not going to be there forever. It's temporary. This asylum is temporary. And you're going to come out better, stronger, and transformed.